Hello, Ariz Ali here, and now the lecture is about the origin of Earth and the solar system. First, we start with how the solar system was formed. The solar the solar system was formed inside a huge cloud of gas and dust. This was known as the Orion Nebula. The Orion Nebula was where intense heat and pressure increased, which just caused the sun to form. Our sun was born. It became a star. It wasn't quite bright at that time. Why? Because the sun is getting brighter every day. So this is a little danger also. You may have known that the sun might become a black hole in my previous lectures. So yeah, when the sun was formed, there were lots of asteroids combining together, and all those rocks and minerals, iron, whatever, those then formed together to form planets. Planets were the planets which are supposed to have moons like Earth. Well, an asteroid the size of Mars crashed on it, which caused a huge explosion, and the material that was left then turned into our moon. So the other planets then just formed. Okay, and in its early days, Earth wasn't as we see it today. It was very different. Earth was like, imagine it as like hell. It was like hell in a way that there were volcanoes spewing lava everywhere. The air had almost no oxygen in it, and what's worse, the temperature was unbearable. It was really hot. People think that everywhere, every single minute, the earth was eating itself. In a lava crashing against rocks being melted, everything. After a little while, it began cooling down, and then the atmosphere formed. No one really knows how these things happen, but people just make up theories, okay? And the atmosphere appeared with almost every single gas we know today: carbon dioxide, nitrogen, whatever. But the only gas it was missing was oxygen. Oxygen is very essential for all living things to survive. Why? Well, you may already know. Oxygen, you breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide. So yeah, carbon dioxide is a waste product, and there was plenty of those stuff. So in a while, the first plants originated, and life probably began in the oceans when rain first started to fall. They were first called prokaryotes. These were small unicellular organisms which were composed of only one cell. Probably just means one. Uni means one. Unicellular means it has one cell. And multicellular means made of billions of cells, like us. I'll get to that later. Unicellular organisms, they were very simple. So simple. They were primitive. That all they ever did was absorb water, absorb nutrients from water, and grow. That's all they ever did. And after a while, they began to get a little more complex, a little more. And after that meant that they were starting to evolve, evolution takes place. They began to evolve with complex organs, then starting to do different functions like we do, like you expel feces, which is a waste product that we also do, and they also take in food. Then these stuff have started to happen, and after that, they used to have an anus for excreting waste products, and after life began to get more complex every single minute. Plankton, krill, and many crabs, and copepods. They were also still exist today. Okay, no, don't worry. They are very tiny, microscopic, in fact. The crabs were just looked very little like those of today. They in fact looked like crab larvae. And krill are tiny shrimp, which are the favorite food of blue whales, which are at risk of extinction right now. And so and many other tiny life forms flourished. But the ocean isn't everything here. So life needed to get more complex and civilized in a way. So in a few billion years, the first creature stepped with a few fingers. It was called Tiktaalik. It looks like some sort of big lizard. Okay, and it began walking on Earth. People think it must have felt like it was walking on a new planet. So that's how it began. All began over here. And then more organisms began to take on land, and boom, you got it. And now plants also take place. At first, there was nothing but algae. Algae evolved a few billion years also ago, and that meant that the algae are very small. Although some of their species are big, though they also exist today. Algae are the oldest plants ever. They first started using photosynthesis by turning oxygen into carbon dioxide to make their own food. We all know about this. And the algae, then all the other land plants began to colonize land, resulting in forests. Even fish began to evolve. Although they look very different from today. They used to have a circular mouth like this, and they used to suck in stuff that they could eat. Okay, and they all had the same fishy tail and fins, whatever. And fish also began to evolve. Amphibians were thought to be evolved from fish. And amphibians has a double life. It means it can live on land and water. Amphibians are a little amazing in this way, like frogs and toads. Those also exist today, but they're not the type that were before. After that, the other life forms again getting so complex. We're just getting to a big Earth now. This time, Earth was very good in a very good manner. Now, asteroids also were combating it sometimes to wipe out the dinosaurs, which I'll get to in a few while. And after the Precambrian, all other animals like trilobites, they also became extinct, which means they died out, which means they are no longer alive. They may never survive. And then other animals began to die, become extinct too. No one really knows why. Some people think the climate was too hot, or maybe there was an asteroid again. So after Precambrian and other periods came the dinosaurs, the Mesozoic era. Many of you are having a little interest in it, probably. The first period, there are three sections of it: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous period. The Triassic was the time when the dinosaurs first began to evolve, like Coelophysis. And at that time, dinosaurs were kind of small, and they weren't very big. Their biggest dinosaur, Plateosaurus, probably, was only as big as a lamppost. So, in the Jurassic period, animals really began to take big to their limit. They got really big. The prosauropods were still there, but they also died out. Prosauropod means that they're halfway stage between the meat eaters and the plant-eating sauropods. And the plant-eating sauropods were growing so big, like Apatosaurus and Brachiosaurus, and many others. And in the Jurassic period, even the flowers and birds began to evolve. The first word was Archaeopteryx. it looked very like a bird. It had feathers and claws, but it also had claws on its wings, and 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 it also had sharp teeth in its beak, which no one really knows why. It's just so a little primitive. So, but there have been reports of a hoatzell chick. It's a type of bird. It has been known that the chicks have evolved tiny claws on their wings to help them climb branches, which which might be a little fact that it's been descended from the dinosaurs. So maybe science could just prove that birds are dinosaurs. So yeah. And in the Cretaceous period, really dangerous dinosaurs began to appear, like Triceratops, although it was only a plant eater, and mammals also began to appear. They haven't been around for a long time. When the dinosaurs died out, the age mammals were since the mammals were the only things left after an asteroid probably hit it. The only evidence for that is that there's some sort of giant crater in Alaska. I don't know where it is. Whatever. And the age of mammals began. This was the time when mammoths, saber-toothed cats began to come. And it was a really fantastic time. It was also the first time grass appeared. Grass in that time also used to be very hard and tough for animals to chew on. So some animals were evolved with proper teeth, for grinding it up and swallowing it. Whatever. And after the age of mammals became extinct, hominids, we have evolved from them. This is where humans come in. You see, now the first hominid was an ape-like creature named Australopithecus. Many skeletons have been found in many different countries. It was thought to be just like an ape, only a little teensy bit human. Since there are many living things share our DNA. Chimpanzee, for example, share almost 99 or 98% human DNA. I'll tell you the bad news about DNA later. So, after Australopithecus, it lived in the trees, and it only came down when it was time for dinner. But other animals like leopards began to eat them also. So yeah, after Australopithecus died out, another hominid named Homo habilis came. Its brain was much larger and a little smaller than ours. It was quite intelligent though. It began using stone tools to eat food and other stuff. And the first tools for men for primitive men were probably just by clanking stones against each other. It produces some sort of reaction. Fire was also discovered by Homo erectus, which came after Homo habilis. Its brain was larger and more effective. I believe it was discovered by it. I don't know which hominid discovered it. It was probably by lightning. Then people began to consent towards it, and they began using it for food and warmth. Warmth because they needed it for the rain or a long cold winter, and also for cooking their food. People then because they began roasting it, which made it much tastier and safer to eat. You don't want eating any live worms, do you? Now, discovery of fire is a big thing, and the Neanderthals, they were also getting more civilized by the way. They began wearing clothing by animal skins, and they began using spears with sticks and stone heads at the top. Their hair was quite long. They were almost as big as us, and they were very civilized. Quite impressive, I must say. And after that, the final step came in evolution of humans. Homo sapiens. This is our species. We are the most intelligent creatures probably on the planet. And more importantly, people may think that we're the most intelligent creatures in the universe. We're the ones who build these civilized machines, things, robots, whatever. But we're also beginning some disastrous effects on the environment. If you want to know more about that, go to my other lecture. Thank you.